Hey guys, it's Xiao. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new here. Today's video is going to be another foundation and concealer review and demo for you guys. I'm so excited to share with you guys the Flower Light Illusion Luminous Makeup Nude Skin Fill Foundation and their concealer. I have the foundation in the shade Nude L3 and then the concealer in the shade Light L3-4. This is the third lightest shade I found at Ulta, and I wanted to try out this foundation because I will be getting married in 4 months and I'm looking for the perfect foundation for my dry skin. I do have very dry skin and a lot of my foundation videos are catered towards my dry skinned girls, so I hope you guys find this video very helpful. But yes, I have been searching for the perfect foundation. I've tried so many in the past month or two that I've tried, returned, tried, and returned. And this one, just giving you guys a heads up, I'm really loving it, but make sure to watch the rest of the video to find out why. The main reason why I wanted to try this foundation was because I saw Kathleen Lights do her 2018 favorites and this was on there, and she has dry skin too, so I trust everything that she tells me. So yeah, for all of my foundation videos, I like to swatch it on my cheek. I also like to zoom you guys in before and after the foundation application so you can see what it looks like sitting on the skin. I will also show you guys if this foundation oxidizes or if it gets darker after some time on your face, which I find really helpful when I'm looking for foundation reviews. So if you guys do find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe if you guys are new here and liked what you saw on my channel. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into the video. I hope you guys find it useful. Okay, so just a couple things about this foundation. It retails for $14 or $13.99 from Ulta, which is where I got it. So this foundation claims that it is lightweight and breathable formula, blends effortlessly, matches seamlessly, and wears endlessly. It does have SPF 18 and they only have 12 shades on their website, which is not a lot. There's only like one dark shade, so that's an issue. And I picked up their concealer. So this is the Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer. This one claims to be weightless formula and crease proof. They have 6 shades on their website and this retails for $10. I did again pick them both up at Ulta. Not all Ulta carries Flower Beauty, so I did have to drive quite a way to an Ulta to get it. You can also get it online. So that is just that information about the foundation and concealer. Alright, so moving on, let's go ahead and get into the swatches. I'm going to be barefaced. I'm going to swatch the foundation on my cheek and then also swatch it again in a couple of minutes to see if it gets darker. And then we will also zoom you guys into my skin up close and then we'll get into the demo. So let's move right into that. Okay, so like I stated, I have the shade Nude L3 and this is the third lightest color I found from Ulta. I'm just gonna go ahead and swipe it on my cheek and down to my neck a little bit. So we're just gonna go ahead and swatch. So as you guys can see, it's a really nice light warm tone, more on the yellowish side. So I say when you have like my type of light warm tone skin tone, this might be a really good color for you. I'm gonna let that sit on my cheek for about a minute or two, and then I'll swatch a fresh swatch next to it just to see if it oxidizes. Okay, so it's been about 2 minutes or so. I'm gonna pump another one and then swatch that right next to our first swatch. So you guys can definitely see it has gotten darker. I'd say like 2 shades darker. It is quite a bit darker, but that's just a nice reference for you guys. So as you guys can see, this first swatch I feel like matches my skin more, but when it starts to dry down, it does get a teeniest bit darker. So make sure to keep that in mind. Okay guys, this is what my skin looks like up close. As you can see, I have a lot of redness around my nose. I have a lot of acne scars, some freckles, some discoloration, and I have a lot of texture around my nose and then also on my chin. And then I do get kind of dry between the eyebrows, but my forehead does pretty well. I feel like if I moisturize and prime really well. This is just what my skin looks like up close. Let's go ahead and move into the demo. Okay, so the 2 primers I'm gonna go in with is, the first one is the Touch and Soul, the No Problem primer. I like this because it fills in my pores and just smooths out my texture. Okay, now we've got all of our primers on. I'm gonna go in with a damp beauty blender. This is just by the Real Techniques, one of my favorite. It is damp, but it is a little bit dry now, so I'm just gonna spray it with my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water just a little bit to dampen it up even more. And then we're just gonna go ahead with our foundation. I'm just gonna shake it up a little bit. I'm just gonna do one pump for now. And the way I did it yesterday was I just kind of spread it out. I kind of like to use my fingers with foundations. I don't know, I just feel like that works really, really well. So we're just gonna do that and then take our damp beauty blender and just kind of, I like to dab it and kind of roll. And it's spreading really, really nicely. I feel like it's very forgiving. It doesn't dry down at all, like really fast, because it is supposed to be a very dewy foundation. As you guys can see, it already looks really, really dewy. And I feel like the way that I applied it yesterday, I kind of spread it out with my fingers a little bit more, like as if I were applying it with my fingers. I don't know, I've just been liking this lately because when I go into like makeup stores, I swatch it with my fingers, and I kind of just like that look of my fingers spreading it out, if that makes any sense at all. I'm gonna go down my neck a little bit too, and then we're gonna go on to the forehead. So this is kind of like the first layer. I did add a little bit more. I'd say it's a nice medium coverage. You can still see my freckles, a little bit of my acne spots, and this pimple here. So I'm gonna do the rest on my forehead, and then we'll go back into a second layer on this side. So this is what one layer looks like. I feel like it's a really nice, if you just want to kind of even out your skin tone and cover up a little bit. I really love the finish. You guys can see it's really, really dewy, but I feel like that's perfect for my dry skin. I'd rather be really dewy and then mattify myself rather than be so matte and then try to make myself look more dewy. I just feel like it's easier this way around. So I'm gonna go in with one more layer, or just kind of in the trouble areas, and see if this foundation will cover it up even more. As you guys can see, I'm avoiding my eye area just because I get really dry there and it creases easily. So I don't like to double up with foundation and concealer. So I'm just gonna avoid that area. But so far with the second layer, it covered up a little bit, but I wouldn't say it's super full coverage. I feel like that first layer was good enough for me because I'm not a super full cover type of girl. I kind of like my natural skin to kind of show through, and my freckles. Alright, so this is what two layers looks like, but this is just what the beauty blender side looks like. Let's go ahead and go on this other side with a brush. I've never tried the foundation with a brush, so let's see how that works out. So for the brush, I'm going to be using the Real Techniques. This is the buffing brush. It's just really nice. It's not super dense, but I've been liking it lately. And I'm just going to again kind of blend it in with my fingers, and then we'll go in with the brush to buff it out. I feel like it blends out a lot easier with the brush. So that one pump actually spread out a lot better than with the beauty blender. I felt like with the beauty blender I had to go in with a couple more pumps. But let's just add a little bit more to the forehead, because I didn't put anything there. Okay, so this is what one layer of the brush looks like. I feel like it's a lot less dewy. Like, not a lot. It's a little bit less dewy than the beauty blender side, in my opinion, or maybe it's just the lighting, but It's still pretty dewy, it's just not as dewy. But let's go in with one more layer. Okay, so now I have both sides applied. This side we had the damp beauty blender, this side we had the buffing brush, and this side definitely looks a little bit more matte, and oh, I can kind of see the streaks from my brush, so I'm just gonna kind of dab that out a little bit. Looking up close, like I stated, the brush side looks a little bit more dry. Like just a little bit of my dry patches, like the teeniest bit if I'm being super picky. It doesn't feel heavy at all, and now I found out it works really well with both a brush and a sponge, so that's really exciting. Now I'm gonna go in and show you guys the concealer. So for the concealer, I got it in the shade Light L3-4, and like I mentioned, I did try this concealer yesterday. I tried it under my under eyes and it creased up immediately and continued to crease up throughout the day. I did try it on my forehead and it sat really well on my forehead. So let's go ahead and go under the eyes. It is a very creamy concealer. I really love the consistency of this. It just kind of glides on so nicely. And if it didn't crease up, I would really love this foundation or this concealer. So I usually just like to blend it out with my fingers first. That's just really how I like to do it, because your fingers are warm and just kind of warms up the product. So when I first was blending it out, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. It blends out so easily and it's just so creamy. But then immediately it will start to settle under my eyes, and I will zoom you guys in obviously. So once that's mostly blended out, I'll go in with my damp beauty blender and I just kind of like to dab it. I'm not the type to set my under eyes, again, because I'm just so dry, and I kind of like that glowy dewy look too. I feel when it looks too matte, I don't really like that look. But right now, actually, it doesn't look too bad, so I'm going to let that sit while we do this side, and then we'll zoom in. Okay, and then I am going to apply it on the high points of my face, just because I didn't get to do that yesterday, and I really wanted to try it out. I only tried it on my forehead, so we're going to go down the nose, and then Cupid's bow, and then a little bit on my chin. My chin has a big trouble area because it has a lot of texture, so I don't want to put too much product there. But it just looks really nice. It's just so brightening. Okay, I can see that my skin is starting to dry up a little bit, like I'm putting too much product on my face, but it doesn't look too bad. So looking at my under eyes, it's starting to crease a little bit. On this side is definitely creasing a lot because I have more lines down here. So let's go ahead and zoom you guys in. Okay, so this is my under eyes. I don't know if you can see it creasing right there. And then on this side, it's just creasing a little bit. I only have one small line here, but overall my face looks so beautiful, guys. Alright, so this is just an up close of my skin now with the foundation. I don't have any powder on or anything like that. It just looks like my skin, but way better. And it doesn't feel heavy at all. There's not much creasing around my nose. I don't see any texture. It's not settling in my smile lines at all, like just the teeniest bit. My chin looks so nice. I've never seen my chin look so nice with a foundation before. Like, there's no texture between my eyebrows. Looks really nice. My forehead looks really nice as well. And I think either with a brush or a sponge, I really like both applications. Alright, so now that you guys have seen the close-ups, I'm gonna go ahead and maybe set a little bit, do my bronzer, my blush and highlighter, and the rest of my face, and I will be right back. Okay, so this is what my skin looks like with bronzer, highlighter, blush, and all of those good stuff. It hasn't creased up much, or at all, like just the teeniest bit on my smile line right here. The concealer has creased quite a bit on this eye, which I will zoom you guys in. This is what I saw yesterday. This eye doesn't look too bad because I just have like one wrinkle right there. Okay, so this is what the creasing looks like. You guys can see that there, right there. And then this side, it just creased a little bit right on that wrinkle there. So maybe you can try setting it. This side really creased up. Alright guys, so my overall thoughts is that I really love this foundation for my dry skin. I recommend it for anyone who has dry skin. It just sits on your skin so nicely. It's so dewy, and I love that it's dewy. Like I mentioned in the video, I'd rather have a foundation that is really dewy and you mattify it down with powder rather than it being really matte and you try to make it dewy. I feel like if you have oily skin, you won't really like it that much because it's just so luminous. But I recommend you checking it out if you like dewy looks. You can just, again, always mattify it. I love how lightweight it feels. I love how blendable it is, and I love that I can use either a brush or a sponge and it still goes on so nicely. The concealer, on the other hand, I feel like it does crease under the under eyes. I did try to set it yesterday, but I don't like that matte under eye look, so I don't really like to set my under eyes. But I do like this as like a spot concealer or a highlighter, which is what I kind of did like on the high points. I'm still going to try to use it under my under eyes just because I really love how creamy it is, and we'll see if I can make it work. But other than that, you guys, I really recommend trying it out. Again, you can find it at Ulta or on their Flower Beauty site. I believe Walmart also sells them. Again, I will link them down below. I feel like at this point, this is my go-to foundation for my big day, my wedding day. The only thing I'm worried about is that right now it's winter and my skin is really dry. That's why it just goes so well together. But we're gonna be in Mexico, it's gonna be hot. I'm just kind of worried about it kind of like melting off my face just because it's so dewy and it's gonna be hot. I'm gonna be sweaty, and at that point I'll be a little bit more oily. But I guess when the time comes, we'll figure it out. But as of right now, this is my new favorite foundation for my dry skin. Alright, that is it for my video. I hope you guys found it helpful, and if you guys did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you guys are new here. Let me know down below if you guys would like to see me review any other types of foundations or makeup or skincare or anything like that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys!